So have you noticed that in the summer, your stomach just feels off? Heavier after meals, a little sluggish, maybe some bloating by mid-afternoon, maybe reacting to foods that never used to bother you at all? So if that's you, I just want you to know that you're not imagining it and it's not random. And you're definitely not alone. There's a real physiological reason your digestion shifts when it gets hot outside. So here's the plan for the next few minutes. We're going to look at this from two different angles that surprisingly agree with each other almost perfectly. One is what Ayurveda has taught for thousands of years, and the other is what modern physiology can now actually measure. Same story, two different languages. And then I'll hand you 4 things that you can actually do about it starting today. So before we dig in, let me lay out the map so you know exactly where we're headed. First, the Ayurvedic framework. Second, the actual physiology. What heat literally does to your gut, your blood flow, and the enzymes doing the real work. Third is hydration, and not in the drink 8 glasses of water a day thing that you've heard 1,000 times before. There's one piece that almost no one connects to digestion, and it's a really big one. And finally, 4 practical adjustments that you can start right now. And remember, I'm not going to ask you to overhaul your whole life. If you walk away with just one of the 4, you'll feel a huge difference. So let's get into it. So let's start with the framework because it gives a lens for almost everything else that we're going to be talking about. Ayurveda has this concept called ritucharya, a seasonal regimen, the practice of living in step with the season that you're actually in. And the premise is so simple and so obvious, but we ignore it constantly. Your body is not the same in every single season. So your food, your routine, your sleep, and your expectations of your own digestion shouldn't be the same either. So let's think about it. We'll happily swap our whole wardrobe out for summer, but then expect our gut to behave identically all year round. And before you write this off as a vague wellness talk, it really isn't. The Charaka Samhita, one of the foundational medical texts of Ayurveda, dedicates entire chapters to how the body changes from season to season and what to adjust because of it. This was a careful, systematized observation written down thousands of years before we even had a word for enzymes. So in that system, summer is called Pitta season. Pitta is the principle of fire, heat, transformation. And in the summer, it's rising, both in the environment around you and inside your body. So your intuition might say more fire means stronger digestion though, right? A bonfire in the belly that burns through anything. But the text describes something more nuanced, something more interesting, and it turns out a lot more accurate. So here's the key idea. Pitta governs digestion. Your digestive fire, which is what Ayurveda calls Agni, is Pitta by its very nature. When it's balanced, they call it Sama Agni, which is steady, even, and reliable. You eat, you digest, and you feel good. That's always the goal that we're working towards. But when that fire gets too hot and too dry, which is exactly what summer does to it, it doesn't get stronger, it gets erratic. We call this Vishama Agni, irregular, and this is the part that'll sound familiar. So you eat one meal and feel completely fine. Then you eat almost the exact same thing the next day and you feel terrible. That unpredictability is the signature of summer digestion. So what does Ayurveda actually tell you to do about it? And let's stop to notice this. The strategy isn't just to eat less, because it's not about restriction or willpower. It's about stability, keeping our fire even and steady. This classic guidance leans on 3 qualities. First one is Madhura, which is naturally sweet and nourishing. Think sweet fruit, not candy. The second is Shita, cooling in nature. And the third is Drava, moist, liquid, and easy to process. So we have sweet, cool, and moist. So remember those 3 things because they run through almost everything else that we're going to talk about. So in real food, that looks like cucumber, coconut, fennel, coriander, fresh herbs, and well-cooked grains. Foods that go down easy and don't demand a ton of digestive effort in the first place. So you aren't trying to crank the fire back up. We're trying to keep it steady while the season is actively working against it. Remember, we're supporting, not forcing, and that's the whole philosophy behind everything. Okay, so let's switch languages now from Ayurveda to straight physiology, and let's see how perfectly the two line up. When the temperature climbs, here's what your body is actually doing on the inside. So your number one priority in heat is not digesting lunch. Thermoregulation wins every single time. And to cool you down, your body reroutes blood towards the skin where it can dump all of the excess heat, and it actually pulls it away from your internal organs, including your entire digestive tract. The technical name for that is splanchnic vasoconstriction. This is completely normal and adaptive. Your body is being smart because it's prioritizing keeping you alive. But here's a trade-off. While you're hot, your gut is running on reduced blood flow. It's being asked to do its job with a lot fewer resources than usual. And less blood flow to the gut means slower enzyme secretion, reduced motility, things move through a lot more slowly, and in some people, increased intestinal permeability. The gut lining gets a little leakier than normal. And remember that last one because we're about to zoom right into it. So let's actually look at the gut lining because this is where things get concrete. So your gut wall is being held together by tight junctions. You can think of these as the seals between the cells. They decide what's allowed to cross from your gut into your bloodstream and what has to stay out. And normally they're shut tight and they're very selective about what they let in. But under heat stress, those seals can loosen. And this is not fringe science. There's plenty of scientific studies that show when your core temperature goes up, markers of gut permeability go up right along with it. It's measurable and repeatable. So for most healthy people, this isn't a crisis, so don't panic. But your system really is under more strain than usual. And that's very often what's behind food sitting heavier in your stomach, that post-meal sluggishness, or suddenly reacting to a food that's normally completely fine for you. So now for the hydration piece. And this is the one I think is the most underrated because most people file water under general health and they never really connect it to digestion specifically. But here's the thing, digestion is a fluid-dependent process from start to finish. Every single stage runs on liquid. So starting with saliva, which starts breaking food down in your mouth, stomach acid, bile from your gallbladder, pancreatic enzymes. Every one of those is mostly water, and every one of them needs you to be adequately hydrated just to be produced at normal levels. So if you're running low on fluid, your entire digestive tract is under-resourced, and summer is the perfect storm. You're sweating more, often not replacing it, so those secretions start dropping off. Things break down slower, motility slows, and your stools get harder because your large intestine actually starts pulling water back out of them to cover the deficit that's everywhere else in your body. And none of this is dramatic or sudden, which is exactly why it's so sneaky. Mild dehydration nudges your digestion in small, real ways that most people end up blaming it on something that they ate instead. So let's talk about how to actually hydrate, because here Ayurveda actually adds a nuance that almost all modern advice skips right over. It's not just how much you drink, it's how you drink it. In the tradition, chugging a lot of very cold water with your meals is actively discouraged, and the reasoning behind it is pretty intuitive once you hear it. So you're dumping a lot of cold liquid onto your digestive fire right when it's trying to do its hardest work. So you're diluting and cooling it at the worst possible moment. And you don't even really need the framework to buy into it. There's a simple practical case too. Sipping consistently throughout the day keeps your fluid levels steadier than gulping a huge amount all at once and then running dry for the rest of the day. So practically, room temperature water works really well for most people in the summer. Not water that's freezing cold, not really hot water, just easy on the system. Nothing for your body to have to warm up first. And if you're someone who sweats a lot, like if you work out a lot If you're out in the heat doing manual labor work, then electrolytes start to matter a lot more than raw volume. A pinch of mineral salt or an electrolyte mix will actually hydrate you a lot better than plain water alone, because you're replacing what you're losing, not just topping it off with water. All right, the 4 adjustments. This is the practical part, like the stuff that you can start today. So the first one is meal timing, and this is a great example of Ayurveda and physiology agreeing completely. Both traditions land in the exact same place. Your digestion is the strongest in the middle of the day. Enzyme secretion and gut motility tend to peak roughly between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Your fire is at its highest when the sun is at its highest. So the move is simple. Have your largest or most complex meal at lunchtime. Eat the heavier stuff when your system is actually best equipped to handle it, instead of when it's winding down for the night. Because in summer especially, a big heavy dinner late in the evening heat and then lying down to sleep on top of it is asking an enormous amount of a system that's already running on reduced blood flow to begin with. That's definitely the recipe for that "why do I feel so terrible at 10 p.m. feeling." And to be clear, you don't have to restructure your entire life around this. Just nudging the heavier protein and fat towards lunch and keeping dinner lighter with more grains and more vegetables makes a huge noticeable difference. So the second adjustment is raw food versus cooked food. And I want to be really careful here because this one gets butchered online into raw food is bad for you, and that is absolutely not what I'm saying. Raw food is not the enemy. Tons of people digest raw vegetables beautifully. Some are very much included. And if that's you, fantastic. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. But if you specifically notice more gas, more bloating, or that heavy brick in the stomach feeling after raw meals in the summer, then that's worth a little experimentation. Cooked food is simply less work to digest. Heat breaks down the cell walls and pre-softens the fiber, so your gut has to do a lot less of that labor itself. And in the summer, when your digestion is already working harder with less blood flow, taking some of that load off can help tremendously. But, and I can't stress this enough, this is very individual. There is no virtue in chalking down cooked food if your body handles raw just fine. On a personal level, I usually switch to a mainly raw food diet in the summer. I wasn't always able to do this, of course, but I've worked my way up to it and my body does really well with it now. So if your body doesn't do so well with raw food right now, in the future it may be able to. And remember that the only authority is your own gut. Eat the food, then notice how you feel, and then decide. So the third adjustment is to use cooling digestive herbs, specifically fennel, cumin, and coriander, which is the classic Ayurvedic trio. All 3 work as carminatives, which just means that they help reduce gas and they keep things moving along comfortably. So there's 2 easy ways to use them. The simplest is to just cook with them. Toss them into your food while you're cooking and you're done. Or you can make the traditional CCF tea, which is about half to a full teaspoon of each, boiled in water for 6 minutes, cool to room temperature, and sip it after your meals. That's the whole recipe. You can also find the recipe on my website. I'll be sure to link it in the description below. And each one is in the mix for a specific reason. Fennel calms gas and cramping. Coriander specifically cools Pitta, that excess heat right in the digestive tract. And cumin supports enzyme secretion and it helps you absorb the nutrients in what you're eating. And together, they're one of the most useful and most accessible tools in this whole video, and the one most used combinations in the Ayurvedic summer care. So the fourth and final adjustment, fermented foods. Consistently. This is one of the most evidence-supported ways to support your gut barrier. And the key word here is consistently. Small and daily beat huge and occasional every single time. And the form really doesn't matter. Just pick what you'll actually eat. Yogurt, kefir, lassi, kimchi, sauerkraut, whatever you genuinely enjoy. The best fermented food is the one that ends up in your mouth regularly. And if you want the specifically summer version, Ayurveda's pick is takra, which is a thin spiced buttermilk or diluted lassi with a little cumin and ginger. It's absolutely perfect for the season because it does three things at once. It hydrates you, it delivers beneficial bacteria, and it's far lighter than the thick yogurt or a giant heavy probiotic smoothie. But just remember not to really overthink the format. The general category of fermented foods is what matters the most. Find a fermented food you actually like and make it a small daily habit. So let's pull all of this together because there's really one core idea sitting under everything that we've just covered. Your digestion changes in summer because your physiology changes in summer. It's not in your head and it's not a random occurrence. So 1, blood flow shifts towards your skin to cool you down so your gut runs on less circulation. 2, in Ayurvedic terms, your Agni or your digestive fire becomes irregular in the heat. Not weak, but unpredictable. And 3rd, hydration becomes more critical because every single stage of digestion depends on fluid. And in the hot sun, even if you're inside, you're losing a lot more than you realize. And 4th, the fixes are small and practical, not some crazy dramatic life overhaul. Shift your big meal to midday, notice how raw food sits, lean on cooling herbs, and keep fermented foods in the rotation. Pick the ones that fit your life. So if you just take one thing from this video, let it be this. Don't hold your summer digestion to a winter standard. Your body is adapting to the season exactly like it's supposed to, so learn how to work with it instead of fighting it, and it will meet you halfway. Now, if you want a simple way to actually build a meal around all of this, like what to put on your plate and what proportions for your Agni right now, I put together something called the Agni plate. It's free, it's linked in the description, and it takes the guesswork out of the what do I actually eat today. And if this video helped you understand your own digestion a little bit better, hit like and drop a comment and tell me how your gut is handling the heat in the summer. And if you want more on eating with your body instead of against it, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.